Another
Well,
5 seconds.
I'll let you know when it's a. Oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry. Okay. It says this meeting's being live streamed, so that's what it says.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, hello, 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 and welcome everybody to today's episode of Spirit Chat. As usual, I am one of your co-hosts, Medium Mari. I am a psychic medium and animal communicator, and also sometime finder of lost pets. And speaking of pets, that's actually our topic for the show today, pets, pets, pets. So welcome in, everybody that's coming in. And I, of course, am here with my beautiful co-host, Winter Brook.
Hey everyone, happy to be here. I'm so excited. For those of you who know me, know I love pets. I've got a bunch of cats and a couple of dogs, and I do rescue. I do animal communication. I don't do find your lost pet. That's a specialty, which Mari does very well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, along with other benefits we have from our experience with our beloved pets, both here and in the hereafter.
Absolutely. And we are grateful for everybody that is coming on today into the Zoom room. And obviously, if you are not here, you are able to catch us live on Facebook, on both of our Facebook pages, as well as both of our YouTube pages. And within the next couple of days, this will also be live streamed on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So you can find Spirit Chat all over the place. So welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have everybody here. And like Winter said, I also love working with pets. I don't have any of my furry friends here with me today because, they jump all over everything. But for me, the distraction is a little too much. But I do love working with them. I do work with people as well. But I have to say that the pets have a very soft spot in my heart. And I really, really enjoy working with them because like Winter and I were talking earlier today, the pets are just so honest, they are just them as themselves. They don't come in with pretension or all of the foibles and fables that us humans do. And so our pets really have a lot that they can teach us about our time here on Earth and our mission and all of those things. So I think we will talk about that today.
Absolutely. And in my case, and I'm sure many others, pets have also led me with spiritual lessons. What you're able to do. Sometimes spirit kind of introduced me to topics through the pets. So that was kind of cool. And we'll touch on that as well. And always remember, guys, that there's we have our human level and our pets have their animal level or bird or reptile. And then they have their soul level, just like we have a soul level. So, pets you can connect with their soul level, which is their higher self, or you can connect with their physical self, their incarnate self. So it might be two different experiences with the same animal. And that's something else we're going to touch on. One of my favorite pastimes is blending, and I love to blend with the animals. And we'll talk about that. And it's kind of fun, and it's something you can do.
Absolutely. A lot of the stuff that Winter and I talk about, it's not exclusive to people that are mediums or animal communicators because let's face it, all of us are souls. We are all connected to source. We are all connected to the universal oneness, and everybody has that ability to connect to animals, to spirit. It's just a matter of working with it and training that energy. So everyone can do this. It's not just like a special thing reserved for certain individuals. So that's definitely something we can talk about. I know Winter teaches a lot of different classes in terms of connecting with spirit. I also teach classes. I also teach animal communication classes. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can definitely connect with us, and maybe we'll put our websites in the chat. So in case people don't know how to get a hold of us, they can do that. And just for reference, my website is mediummari.com, mediummari.com. And that's all my socials and everything. And Winter, what is your website again?
And I just typed it in. It's winterbrookmedium.com. And I have my classes up. In fact, I'm going to be doing a psychic mediumship development online 4-week class in January, Wednesdays in January, Wednesdays with Winterbook. And we'll hit on psychic abilities and mediumship. We're going to touch on that a little bit. And if you want to take a look at, there's a flyer on my website describing that. So, and that will, as I said, will be online. So you don't have to worry about driving to my office.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. And absolutely, Winter's classes are phenomenal. So if anyone is interested, jump on that January class before it gets filled up for sure. So
Yeah, we already have a few people signed up. So
I'm sure. I'm sure. So, you know what I was thinking, Winter, as we're talking, I'm sure you get this as well, but I get questions all the time about the animals and different things about the animals. And I thought maybe we could just go through some of those questions because I'm sure since we've been asked them so many times that maybe some of our audience has those questions as well. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Cool. Well, I have a little list here that I wrote briefly before we got on. And, one of the things that people ask me all the time, well, there's a lot of things people ask me all the time, but this is one that sort of came to mind is, can my animal, could it come back as a person or vice versa? Because I've had many clients that say, I think my dog is my dad or vice versa. So, and the answer to that, at least from my perspective, is absolutely yes, because we're souls. We are connected again to the oneness, to spirit. And it's maybe some people might not agree with me, but I personally feel that you can come back as anything. So when my client is talking and I'm saying, yeah, I'm really getting a lot of information about your dad, and I know we're supposed to be reading your dog, they're saying, oh, that's because I think that my dad is, connected, merged a little bit with the soul of my dog. And I absolutely believe that that can happen in a reincarnation. It's not, in my view, limited just people to people and animal to animal. I feel like we can connect and sort of merge because the soul is just energy. And this is like just the outfit that we're wearing this time around, whether it's furry, not furry, this is just our clothing of the soul. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Winter?
So I definitely agree with you that we can reincarnate, and I don't believe there's a hierarchy. So I always say, having raised 2 teenage daughters and all the hormones of teenage girls, that when I come back, I'm going to come back as a tree. No emotions. But I don't know if our loved ones, I think like we go in soul groups. So I'm not sure about whether my dad could, who was incarnate with me as my father this lifetime, would necessarily reincarnate while I'm still alive as a pet. I could say if we come back in the future as a part of the group incarnation, he could be a pet then. So
Yeah.
I agree with you about 90%. I'm not sure, but again, the thing is, I am limited by my human capacity, and I'm sure I will better understand this after I cross over fully. But there's no time, linear time is what we're told once you pass from the earth plane. So it's possible. I just always felt, that we incarnate like secular and in groups. So you
Yeah.
play one role in a lifetime and then the next lifetime. Just like, your husband this lifetime might be hanging back as your guide the next lifetime, or might be your daughter in your next lifetime. So I think my oldest daughter was a son-in-law in a previous lifetime for me, having done a past life regression. So that's the only difference, but it's speculative. and I don't know if I'm correct. So there.
No, of course. And I don't know if I'm correct either. I just know, like, for me personally, and there's also multiple dimensions, right? So personally, I believe that our soul can be in different dimensions at the same time.
Yeah, we
So
don't
whether,
fully
you know,
incarnate, so we could be coexisting, having another existence elsewhere.
exactly. So you could be the dog in one of the existence, you could be the dad in another one. So for me,
Hmm.
I see it as like a multi-dimensional, almost like a disco ball, with all the little facets, and you can be this and this dimension and this and that. And so just for me and my experience, that's sort of how I feel. But again, everybody, none of us really know because we're not on the other side yet. But there's definitely a consensus that there is reincarnation, that you do come back in different forms and varieties. How all the specific details of that works, we're not 100% sure, but I definitely have had clients that have had that feeling. And as I was working with them, had the feeling as well that their animal was like a family member in that lifetime. And so I guess we'll find out when we fully make it to the other side. But I think it's really fascinating that our animals serve us in so many different ways and in so many different facets throughout our lifetimes.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You did say something about the attributes of the father was blending in with the dog
Hmm.
in that thing. So I had this white cat Spirit had sent me. I had to find a white cat and adopt it, and I found it was in a no-kill shelter, but it was going to get hospice care with me. But for some reason, they wanted me to have this cat. And when it did pass, I had this big fat black cat that loved it. And the black cat, it was the most skittish thing. It would only come up to me. It was a rescue. It was afraid of everything and everyone, but he loved this little tiny old white cat.
Hmm.
When the white cat died, about a week later, I was meditating, and all of a sudden, I saw my black cat walking down my hallway, and I saw the white cat come in from Spirit and then just envelop it, like go over and fall into
Hmm.
it. Following that, um, the black cat all of a sudden became less frightened, less shy. Because the white cat, like, she ruled the roost. As soon as she came in, she took over my bedroom, even though I used to have to hand feed her with my finger. She was really skin and bones. I was giving her
Oh,
injections. As I said, it was hospice care, but
yeah.
Spirit had arranged this for lessons. And the black cat took on her confidence, which he never had before after I
Hmm.
perceived this poof. And the other lesson for me was that when she passed away, I had brought her to the vet, and it was determined that she was bleeding internally. So it was time to let her go. Um, he hadn't even gotten to the injection. He gave the first injection, which calms them down, and then
Hmm.
the euthanasia. She was out of the body, almost like instantaneous. And I saw this older woman from Spirit step in, and I saw the cat jump into her arms, and she said, "Thank you for taking care of my cat." I
Oh.
didn't know who she was, but it dawned on me that this cat had been rescued from a kill shelter. So it was probably surrendered by the woman's family, whether the woman died or was put in a nursing home herself.
Hmm.
And then, the cat was with me for about 3 months before she needed to go to the vet, and they realized it was time. And I mean, she literally came down the stairs for the first time in 2 months, jumped into the cat carrier that was happened to be sitting in the room. I was like, I guess you want to go to the vet. So, yeah, it was interesting because that to me that just said to see I was I went along with what Spirit wanted, and the woman passed into Spirit, and somebody took care of her cat. And when it was time was right, the cat joined her in Spirit.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story. I love that so much, Winter. So you really played your role in terms of taking care of this woman's cat on the earth plane until the kitty was ready to cross over into the arms of her human, you know? And
Right. And
I
it
love
taught
that.
me they were reunited because this is when I
Mm,
was first opening up and learning. And and then seeing the poof when the cat came in from spirit and blended with that's when I was getting ready. I was starting to blend more in my unfoldment as a medium, which led to the trance work.
wow,
So
that's an amazing story, and I love the imagery and and our animals do have their people. I'm sure anybody here that's listening or watching, you can have a cat, but he doesn't, or a dog, they don't necessarily like everybody. They're going to find their person, their specific person that they really like. Maybe they're friendly to everybody, but they're going to find their person that they really like, and that's where that soul type of bond is with that person. And I had another question that I had on my list, Winter, that I was thinking about positing to you. Now, I don't know if this might also be controversial, but I've definitely talked with a lot of people and myself have had experiences with this. I feel that in this lifetime, on rare occasions, not all the time, but I've seen that many times that if you have an animal that you are extremely connected with, they will, like I like to say, take a bullet for you. So say, God forbid you're ill and you have some type of situation going on medically. I have seen animals themselves, and when I have talked to them, they've told me that they basically decided to take that energy on for their person so that their person didn't have to suffer through it. And I've seen multiple examples of this with my client. Have you seen anything like that when you've worked with your clients?
no, I have heard stories from other mediums. Uh, so I'm not sure where I would be in that position as far as whether Adam, I guess it's possible, but as a spiritualist, we believe that, you know, you have to each is, I'm sorry, I've had a couple nights of no sleep. Um, someone can't take on, you have to live your own karma. What you sow, you get back. So the only thing I don't feel a resonation to that, although I've heard other mediums say have
Hmm.
stories and give messages from spirit about this. But the only thing that I question is, isn't that a little bit like the Jesus story that he took on the sins and got nailed to the cross, the crucifixion? I do believe Jesus is a healer and a great waysayer and a teacher, but I don't think
Hmm.
he could take on the sins of the other people. In other words, my belief system is more that, you know, you sow what you reap. You reap what you sow. And if you do good, good comes back. If you do bad, that also comes back.
Oh,
And I don't think
100%.
somebody else, like the whipping boy in the courts, in the old fashioned royal courts, when the young prince or princess misbehaved, they would beat a designated child to instead of beating the prince or princess. Not that I believe in beating kids, of course, but this is the way they did it back then.
I know. This
So
has
the
taken
whipping
a
boy.
dark turn, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, but I just mean
I'm joking.
exonerating someone's, saying somebody else could suffer the penalty for the crime or misdeed of the person. So because I feel like it's a little close for that, I'm not sure. However, I don't know everything, and I have heard other mediums have stories like this and given messages at demonstrations, and I believe they're genuine mediums, and that's what they got. So maybe.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, I knew it's a little controversial, and I don't mean so much as crimes. I mean as like a medical issue. Like, not that you did something wrong, but if you have some medical situation.
Right, but I
I,
equate it to that. That's what I'm saying. Not, I
mm,
understand what you're saying, that if somebody had a cancerous growth that could have become terminal, the
hmm,
pet takes on the energy of the illness,
right.
freeing up. I'm not sure. because do believe in the healing. I believe the animal can bring healing. They have scientific proof now that the
Absolutely.
purring, the cat's purr, that promotes, if you break your bone or you fracture it, healing of bones. And I think also on it lowers blood pressure a little bit.
Hmm. For
Although it won't
sure.
work if the person's highly allergic to cats.
No, probably not. But I know personally, I've worked with many clients that have had this situation happen, and I feel like it's not so much as because I'm not a spiritualist, so we come from a little bit of a
Yeah.
different perspective. And I was just curious what you thought about it because I know in my work I have definitely seen that. Again, it's not a super common thing, but I've seen it enough times that I'm like, oh, I feel like that is a legitimate, and it's sad because when you, oh, my animal took this away from me to save me, because I personally believe that our animals are here to help us be the highest version of ourselves. And if they can help and assist in any way, and I sort of put this in the category of assisting, then they will do that. Certainly, we have our own karma and our own things that we need to learn, but I think sometimes when the animal intervenes, that was also part of the karma. That was also predestined and connected to our life. And so I just thought I've seen, when I've worked with different clients about this, it's sad, but it's very cool how much animals will put themselves at risk many times in different situations to help us grow and be the best version of ourselves.
Absolutely. And I do agree that the animals can bring through healing as a conduit for spirit and do bring their own healing. The higher self of the animal can do healing. So they can, I just don't know if your cat takes on cancer because you had it and then yours disappears. That's the part. But again, I don't know everything. And that's the beauty of this. And I'm always open to changing my perception of something and my understanding because it grows with time.
Of course, and me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
so that's what makes us
Yeah.
get along so well.
Yeah.
Um, and I do agree that animals, I mean, how many stories, just the physical animals, particularly if we're talking about dogs or even cats, will, get between the owner and a physical threat.
Exactly.
That's why I have an 85-pound pain in my behind known as Sasha. We're still, they have this meme on Facebook. The rescues will hold it, and they like cute little puppy picture, and then 4 months to 24 months demon, and then
Yeah.
25 months to senior lovely, lovely dog. So she's
Yeah.
still in the demon stage,
Yeah.
chewing everything, getting into everything, but um, she has a fierce bark, and I feel more protected with her in the house, and my daughter protected if I'm not home. So, even the
Absolutely.
cat, because, Rumi's in the room now, but I've seen him go after, if I had a workman in and workman's, he'll go to scratch. Not that he's
Absolutely.
20 pounds, but it's
No, 100%. They want to take care of us in whatever way. And I think the extension of, if there is an illness or something, that to me just feels like an extension of taking care of us kind of to the nth degree. And I just think it's really beautiful how our animals are here for us in so many ways. And just, a brief segue, it's even if, I was talking about how our animals are here to help us be the highest version of ourselves. Many times our animals will mirror what we are doing. So if we come in and we're really anxious and we're upset about something, and then all of a sudden our cats start going crazy or the dogs start barking, it's because they're picking up all that energy from us, and then they want to mirror it back to be like, hey, mom, dad, this is what's going on. Take a look at what's happening with you right now so that we can sort of simmer down or figure out what the cause of this is. And our animals are exquisitely good at doing that. And
Mhm.
I'm so grateful just for that. So it's like I feel like it's an infinite feedback loop of, we do something, they have something to say about it, and back and forth. And it does very much feel like having protectors around, whether it's, a big dog, a small cat, you have a fish, whatever it is, they're all connected to that same energy.
Absolutely. And the other thing, as much as their physical incarnate cells can bounce off our emotional energy, um, they also are very grounding. I know that when I
Hmm.
started my journey as a medium, the energy, you have to learn how to work with it and control it, control your reactions to it, I should say.
Hmm.
And sometimes when I was just kind of too all over the place, I would just brush the dog. The dog
Hmm.
had four on the floor, very grounded. And I just found, doing that would ground me energetically. So, and what gave me the idea for it was I was standing up, sending out healing and getting a little woo. And all of a sudden, the dog walked over out of the blue and sat down on my feet. And
Yep.
this was when I had my Bernese Mountain Dog, which I saw a really
Mm.
cool one today and brought that memory to mind. And I said, "Oh, wow, the dog just grounded me." So I started using my dog to help me, which the dog, of course, loved to get brushed. And I suggested that to other students, and they actually found it very helpful too. If they'd been doing a lot of work and having trouble grounding, or the energy was just so high, they just, start petting their animal and it calmed them and brought their energy levels down. So,
Yeah, 100%, 100% true. And I know, and again, I try to keep my cats out of my working area, but sometimes if I'm not as quick on the draw closing the door, I have one of my cats. She's like a gray, very gray cat, almost like a black cat. And whenever I would do readings, whenever she could, she'd either sit at the door and scratch, or she could sneak her way in, and she would come in and sit on my lap every single time. And so we started
oh,
calling her the witch's cat because she just wanted to be around the energy and help ground me. And I just sort of felt like once she was in the room, you could feel that grounding energy. And I feel like she sort of wanted to participate in some way to sort of help keep that energy smooth, and just her essence. All of our animals have sort of a different personality, and she's just very like cool, calm, and collected, just very chill. And so whenever she's in the room, she's like, okay, we're going to be working now. I'm here to sort of help you with that and keep the energy vibing. And so I love that. And I love, when she wants to come in and work with me.
the animals love energy. And something that everybody can do is healing work, whether you want to become attuned to Reiki or other healing energy modalities. And if you're practicing your energy work at home with your pets, you'll see them come into the room. They love it. And I definitely encourage people to do that because we always need more healing in the world. And the animals really resonate to it. So, and the other thing I just wanted to point out, cats are known to be good guardians, just like the dogs are good for physical threats, robbers and things like that. Um, the cats are great at protecting your energetic space.
Hmm.
So, most of my dogs, I mean, they did things, but I don't know how sensitive to energy they were. But the cats always seem to be more like they seem to see things. I had one pitty lab I adopted from the pound, and she seemed to, I think, see auras. But my other dogs seem more or less oblivious to that, and that's fine. As long as they bark or bark at the eagles. I don't want the eagles here. I like to see them flying at somebody else's house, but not near. We have a Pomeranian. So, but anyway.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what our animals can do for us, and all the many ways that they help us and support us on our journey here on Earth. And I don't know if anybody in our audience had questions about that before we move into readings, or if there's anything else we could answer regarding our connections to the animals in general.
Oh, oh, Jennifer.
Just have to unmute you. I don't know if you can you unmute her?
No, I can
Can
only.
you hear me?
Okay.
Yes, we can now, sweetheart.
Okay, good. I pushed a button. I don't know. I have a question. So I recently rescued three cats, which we went for one cat and somehow left with three. It was an interesting situation, but I guess I was just wondering, was that supposed to happen? Because one of the cats I think is has some like heart stuff going on, and um if anything comes through for the reading later, I would love to hear it. But the dog that we had rescued and had for 3 years, she died of like heart failure. So it was like my worst
Mm.
nightmare getting another animal with that. But I'm wondering if there's a purpose behind it.
I'm gonna let you take this one, Mari.
Yeah, I mean, and again, everybody sort of looks at things through their own lens. Personally, I've heard so many stories from my clients where they'll say, "Oh, just basically what you said. I had this dog that had a heart issue, and then, unbeknownst to me, I adopted with a cat with a heart issue." I mean, personally, I think if something like that is repeating in your life, then it has some type of message in terms of, are you needing to open up your heart a little bit more? Are there things that maybe you haven't been able to process, or that you have hurts, in the world that haven't really been fully integrated and connected? I mean, that's something that I would say. I'm sure other, Winter and other people might look at it differently. I don't see it as a negative. I see it as an opportunity to be like, oh, well, what can I learn from this? How can I help these animals? And what are these animals trying to sort of teach me about what is going on in my own life? Because I don't believe in coincidences. I don't think things just fall out of the sky and that's just the way it is. So if you are adopting these animals that have a similar type of physical issue, I would sort of look at it more, not that you would have the physical issue, but what does that mean spiritually? What does it mean in terms of the heart center? Are you closed, or is that something that you're working on? And sort of and look at it that way and sort of explore that a little bit more, because that's sort of what I'm connecting with as you're talking about that. And I love that you went in for one and came back with three. I definitely think that that was meant to be for sure. Three is like, an angelic number also. So having three of anything is also being connected to the angels, or some people talk about the Trinity. So I think that's really beautiful that that's how that played out for you. And I'm sure you're a little busier maybe than you wanted to be going from one to three. But there is a meaning in the three, and there is a meaning in the animals that you connected with. And our animals always have messages for us. It's just a matter of whether we're willing to listen to them or not.
The only thing I'll add, I didn't want
Thank
to do the reading originally because I know a little of the backstory with Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, you're also a healer. You're a fabulous, you do Reiki circles, you do Reiki healing, you do sound healing, and you generate a healing energy. So there's another level that the third cat ended up being gravitating to you because of who you are.
I wanted to say too, I did not pick either of the heart failure animals. My daughter, they're both my daughters. My daughter picked a dog, and that was my
Mm.
daughter's dog. And then the black cat Archer that we originally went to the shelter to pick up, my daughter found him. And so I did many, many healings on the dog, and it was amazing because she was like said to live 3 to 6 months, and we ended up getting her to live 2 years. I would do Reiki on her
Mm.
almost every day, right
I
up
love
until
it.
she died. I was doing Reiki on her the hour of her death. I was doing Reiki the entire time on her. But um, I did pick a white cat, like a Siamese lynx point at the end, like when I was kind of walking out the door, because we were kind of forced to take a bonded pair, which was the black cat with the heart issue and another cat. And then I saw the white one, and there's something that called to me. And I did want to share really quick. Last night was the first time she ever slept in my bed, and She was extremely feral. She was found in a dumpster. I mean, it's taken me
Hmm.
almost 6 months to kind of tame her in a way, but she's absolutely wonderful. And the black cat, the one with the heart issue, those two are like inseparable now. So it was interesting. It was almost like he was the bridge. He was the attraction that got us into this place, and then we ended up leaving with kind of like two of his friends. So it was definitely an interesting thing. But my heart is very open. I love helping people, and but there are obviously always things that we could work on. But I was just wondering, like, it had to be meant to be because she got both of these sick animals, and now I'm just healing them the best I
Uh,
can.
Absolutely. It feels like they were a conduit in which to get all the animals that you needed for you to continue your, sounds like heart-centered work that you're doing. And so it's almost like that, you needed them in some way, but they also need you. So it's that, it's the yin yang of life, of how things keep continually going around and around. And we learn from all aspects of each part of the wheel, if that makes sense to you. Um, yeah, I think that's a beautiful story, and clearly you were meant to have these animals because again, I don't feel like anything happens by accident, and I think our animals are always trying to teach us different things and help us sort of evolve to be that highest level of ourselves that we can be.
Absolutely. Um, while we're waiting for somebody else, if they, by the way, I want to say hi to everybody on my Facebook page. I can't really respond well with the phone. I end up deleting comments, so I'm going to respond later, but I am keeping an eye on it. I see you guys there if anybody wants a reading. Um, we're reading live pets and also pets in spirit. And of course, if anyone's deceased grandmother or parent or child wants to come through, of course, we'll bring through those messages too. I just wanted to share, though, an exercise for you guys because one of the things I really enjoy doing is blending with the animals.
Hmm.
I'm so sorry. Now, blending is something that you do when you're working towards going into a deeper altered state, particularly going into like the trance state. And it's how much you can push together your energetic field with the entity or the being you're blending with, whether it's your spirit guide, your grandmother, because you're bringing through communication, or a pet, or a living animal. So I used to go to the zoo. I still do. I love the zoo. And spirit every year would tell me to go see a particular animal in the zoo. And a funny story I always tell is one year they told me to go to the birds of prey. So I did. And then when I got to the birds of prey section, they told me to go to the snowy owl, and I start blending with the snowy owl.
Hmm.
And now I'm not recommending that you do this like I did it in the middle of a general population in the Bronx Zoo, okay? But I take risks, do as I say, not as I do. Um, but I had gotten to almost a complete blend with this owl. And I didn't remember owls turn their heads 180 degrees. And the owl turned its head 180 degrees, and my neck cracked. And I actually had better rotation because I have a limited rotation in my neck due to a car accident in law school. But I had better rotation in my neck for the rest of the afternoon than I had had in years. And my students were saying, "Oh, you found a new chiropractor." I said, "Yeah, but I can't go to the Bronx Zoo every day." So you too can experience. And the cool thing was, I was blended with this owl, so I didn't know where the owl began and where my energy began. And I was starting to feel and think like the owl. And to me, this is fascinating. I'm always curious. I'm a Gemini, I'm a Sag moon. I want to learn, I want to know. And it's not enough to just read about it. Imagine being able to step into their shoes, like the Native Americans used to say, walk a mile in a man's shoe to better understand them. Well, blending with another being, I would not. You shouldn't do it with other humans without their permission, of course. But with the animals, you just throw out a thought, and I've never really had an animal tell me no. They're
Hmm.
blending with me, and I have nice energy, so I'm sending them love And this is all in the pursuit of better understanding and greater awareness and compassion. So basically, throw out the little request and then focus on the animal. And then just imagine your energy field blending or becoming one with their energy field and their energy field enveloping with you. And, do it after you've had a quiet meditation and you're not going to be disturbed. Maybe if you're sitting in your bedroom, obviously not on the New York subway system or the T in Boston.
Hmm.
And you may find that you start to experience different sensations. So when I did it with the bears at the local zoo, I walked out of there and I looked at my daughter. I said, "We are having salmon tonight." And as I uttered those words, I was like, "Oh my God, bears like salmon." I picked up, their likes, dislikes, what they want to do. So it's a kind of a fun experience. And the only thing I'll tell you is don't do it with a wasp nest because I inadvertently I was spraying a wasp nest once that had started to take residence right up by my garage. So I was worried my daughter would get stung. And I apparently was too open. I didn't realize it. And I sprayed that, and they were not happy. Wasps have two emotions, anger and I'm going to kill you. So that was not a good experience, but I'm trying to save you as from that experience. But birds, a little inchworm, bears at the zoo, and it's pretty cool because you're beginning to really understand and learn that you are much more than the physical vehicle you're currently occupying. So I give you that exercise, and it'll also help you with your mediumship as well as animal communication, because you're going to learn to trust your guides are watching over everything. So you can't get harmed. And you'll learn to blend more. And this will help you if you want to connect with your own loved ones on the other side. Or, what Mari does a lot is the animal communication with the incarnates here. So I give you that.
No, that's an awesome
And then thank the
exercise.
animal after you're done for the
Yes.
experience. And I like to send a little love.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're here to be our teachers and to let us know what's going on with them. And I think like Winter was saying, the more you can blend with whether it's animals or people if you get their permission, or even the elementals, like you were talking about trees, and if you ever walk into the forest, you can go and touch the tree. You can feel that energy. Now, sometimes I talk about this and people are like, I don't know, seems a little crazy. But it's really true because they have energy and spirit and soul as well. It's a little bit different than ours, of course, but they are alive, they are connected. And so try that sometime. If you're walking in a forest, you're on a trail, go touch the tree and see what feelings register, in your body because they are sending out messages as well. Same thing with flowers or, other types of things, other nature things, or the fairies, or anything that you might spot in the natural environment. They are all there for us to be able to connect with. And I think it's a good practice experience. That's a good exercise, Winter.
Yeah, and fairies, for those that know me, that I sit in a physical mediumship circle and I do a lot of transfiguration. One of my guides who works with me is a fairy and an elf. And when the elf comes in, my ear gets pulled out and elongated, and it's actually waved at the sitters. And I've had a number of sitters that have served that. So they do work with us, the elementals. If you had told me this stuff 20 years ago, I would have told you you were insane.
Yeah.
But now, like Mari, I talk about it, and I have two psych evals that prove I'm sane for adoption. So there you go.
There you go. I've been tested. I'm okay. So, yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, well, thank you for sharing it. So, I'm looking at the time. I realize maybe do we want to jump into some readings? If anybody wants some readings of their furry friends or otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a reading.
Is that Lisa?
Yes.
Okay. So Lisa, are you looking to connect with an animal incarnate? one of your pets or from spirit?
Incarnate.
So presently living.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I just learned what that meant like 10 minutes ago when you guys were talking. I had no
Good,
idea.
good, good, good. So,
That's okay. That's
yeah,
good.
Yes,
incarnate means
incarnate,
they're physical.
incarnate.
Discarnate means they're no longer connected to the physical. So that would be angels, grandmas in spirit, and animals in spirit. Okay, so we're gonna. Would you have a cat?
No,
A small dog then?
no.
Oh, I'm missing this one. I better hand this one off to Mari.
See, that's why I ask for pictures, because whenever I do this, and I do a lot of these
You want to
readings
see a
on the
picture?
radio, yeah, if you have a picture, because I know if someone says, "Oh, I want a
All right.
reading on Fluffy." Fluffy could be a python, or or Saint Bernard. So it's like, so my human brain doesn't get stuck in like, what kind of animal is this? It's just easier for me to connect with the picture. So I totally hear you, Winter. It's like, So when I do it on the radio, which is quite often, I ask them to tell me what breed it is and the name and all that stuff so that I can just focus on the reading. So yeah, if
Yeah,
anybody would
I
like a
have sleep
reading,
deprivation today, but let's see what we got here.
all right, let's see
I just
here.
ripped this, I just ripped this off my wall.
Oh,
Oh, cute. And what's his or her name?
Max.
Max. All right. And Max is still here, correct? On this
Yeah,
side.
exactly. He's right behind me.
Oh, Maxie, very sweet. So did you have a particular question about Max, or
I
did
was
you want me to
concerned
just
about
kind of?
his health, and I was concerned about his health. I was concerned if what made him happy, and really, is he in pain? I know he's older, so he has arthritis, so I know, but I can't tell to the extent because they don't let you know.
Sure, of course. And our animals are very, good at hiding those things. And I always like to
Mhm.
preface, I'm not a vet. I cannot diagnose or
Oh yeah,
prescribe.
yeah,
So
yeah.
just important everyone knows that. I can
Yeah.
sort of feel different things in the body. As I sort of connect to Max, I feel like he has like some anxiety about him. He has a little bit of like, I'm not sure what's going on. I can feel like he might be a little slow to warm up sometimes to people. And when I sort of scan his body, does he have any type of like intestinal or like digestive kind of stuff? Because I'm
He
sort of
had
feeling
he had
something in that
gastro
area.
problems for a long time until I learned how to do the probiotics and things like that. Yes, if I didn't do it, he always had gastro problems.
Okay, yeah, because I am sort of feeling a little bit of inflammation down there, just sort of sensitive. And I just sort of feel in general, he's sort of a sensitive, like, some kids, whether they're on the spectrum or not, but just some kids are like extra sensitive to touch and they're
Are
just
you
kind of
saying
like,
my
oh,
dog's? Are you
so
saying my dog's on the spectrum?
no, I'm not. I'm just saying when I come into his energy, I
I am.
feel like he's very sensitive. Like there's certain places you can touch him and certain places you can't. And he's just like, almost like if he was a person, if he put on a wool sweater, he'd be like, this is too itchy. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just feel
yeah,
like that kind of
yeah.
energy
He
with
is like
him,
that. Like he
you
doesn't like
know,
paws wet. It's
like
like, oh,
yeah, just like I don't know. So I feel that in my body with him. That's what he's telling me. So aside from the digestive part, I do feel like that he is sort of extra sensitive to different things. So obviously, and I'm sure that you treat him, very carefully, and he's almost like again, like with a little kid that you have to be like, okay, we're gonna do this, and we have to go here. Like I feel like he needs like a lot of lead time on different things. Like you can't just be like, okay, get in the car, because he's like, okay, wait a second, I kind of need to
yeah,
prepare myself for this. Like some people, just like some people, like, okay, sure, let's just go get ice cream. And some people like, okay, wait a second, I got to check my schedule, I got to make sure, I got to get my shoes, I got to like. There's a whole production, and then I sort of feel Max is in that category, and so I feel like he's just sort of sensitive. I do feel, and he's talking to me. He is happy, but there's some piece about I don't know if did he have like a little friend that he used to play with that he doesn't play with anymore? Because he's talking to me about another animal or visiting another family that had an animal that's not happening anymore. Do you understand that piece? Because he's
yeah.
showing me like, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. My nephew has a little dog, Wally, and he used to visit him a lot. And now we don't do. And another little dog that he has now, Sparky, a little white dog, and they're small.
Yeah.
And he liked when they hung out, but he doesn't really see them anymore that much.
Yeah. So, I mean, and obviously, I don't know your schedule and your life, but he's telling me that he would like to go visit them again or just sort of have interactions because he's not just showing me another pet, he's showing me almost like another family. So, being in like a mix of more people, more smells. He's also talking to me about smelling different things. Like he likes to go around and smell all the things. That's something that, which I know he's a dog and, dogs like to smell things, but he's talking to me about his nose and just walking around and wanting to sniff all the different smells.
He also he also met a new friend, Willow. Willow, right? She's here. Willow's mommy's here right now, and maybe he's talking about how she's a little dog too, and he seemed to like her.
Yeah, so if there's any way you can sort of arrange more play dates or get-togethers with these other pets and their families, I think that would bring him up a little bit more because I feel like he's not super like, hey, let's go. Like he doesn't have that kind of energy. He's just a little more quiet. And I know he's older, so he's slowing down a little bit, but he still likes to have, that type of interaction to kind of pick him up a little bit and just like give him something more interesting to do, I guess. So I do feel a little bit of boredom with him as well. And again, as I said earlier, if you are concerned about any real physical things, I don't see anything in my scan, but if you're concerned, definitely go, check with your
Oh, I know. Yeah,
veterinarian.
I understand.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I
sure. So,
understand.
so I hope that was helpful.
That was very interesting. Yeah, you pretty much know him, and you never met him, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's true.
Appreciate it.
I was just trying to get him in the car today. Some days he just doesn't even come. He looks at me like I'm going to take him. Yeah, it's exactly what he does. You're right on the money.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank
And thank you
you.
for joining us. Yeah, it's
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. My
Yeah, sorry, I
pleasure.
just blew that. The only thing I was getting right away, I wanted to say to save a lot of gas, and then Maury brought up the digestion
Oh,
history, and I'm just like, because I just feel like gas with this dog.
once in a while, yes, you're right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes change of food, but then Mari brought it up, so that made sense. And yeah, I concur with what she was saying. I feel like your dog would like he likes to see different things, but they all do. So I don't think he wants to run around the backyard, but he's interested in seeing something different.
Yeah, something new for sure.
Thank you
And
both.
oh, you are very welcome. And I see Jennifer Thompson in the chat is asking for a reading for her pet who passed away. So if you have a picture, oh, I see. There you go. Can everybody see that?
Yeah.
Oh, very cute. Are you unmuted? Can you unmute yourself, Jennifer?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Yes. And what's the name of your fur baby? And I'll let Winter take this one, but I'm just
It's
curious.
Maisie.
Maisie. Oh, very sweet.
Maisie. So Maisie passed after illness. This is the animal you brought up before.
Mhm.
All right. And there was another dog that Maisie knew that had already predeceased in spirit, because I feel like she recognized another animal when she crossed over. Would that make sense?
I don't know because we adopted her, so I have no idea
Gotcha.
about like history or anything like that.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that getting that she joined another animal on the other side. I do feel like the animal is connected to you, but maybe it was from a previous home.
Oh, is it another? Are you? Well, I was hoping she would come through too, but I had a dog named Bella that was also a white Maltese, and she passed. So maybe it was
She
Bella.
predeceased Maisie. She died
Yes.
before Maisie. Yeah, that's what Maisie was. The first thing she wanted to say was she crossed over and joined another animal. And I do feel the animal was connected to you. I do feel she crossed from an illness that was prolonged, and that you took a lot of steps, and she's acknowledging how much emotional investment, financial investment, and you always taken her to that place and where they would give you meds. So she's acknowledging you did a lot of veterinarian care with her. She expresses her gratitude. She considers you her mommy. That's my mommy. Okay. So I don't know what her past situation was, but you are her mommy. Um, she needs to let you know that she is back to her full vim and vigor, and she's running around almost chasing her tail. I think she was a bit of a silly dog. Some dogs are kind of chill, some dogs are kind of silly. My dog is still chasing its tail. It's almost 2 years old. I think your dog, this particular dog, Maisie, would have chased her tail, even if she was 6, because she was just playful and silly. I
Yeah,
think
she's
the other dog,
even at
who was Bella? Did you say Bella?
Bella.
Bella was a little bit more. Um, she wasn't as crazy as Maisie. She was more refined. That's the word I'm looking for. She was more refined. Okay, and I do feel like Bella it would be the lead dog between the two of them. Okay, she'd be the alpha, and Maisie would just happily follow and hang out with Bella on the other side. I do feel they come and visit, and Maisie likes to chase the cats. So if you notice the cats all of a sudden freaking out and there's like no insects or anything else that, would trigger it, the cat crazy zoomies, that's the dogs visiting. And I do feel again that Maisie just wants to play, play, play. So they're both good. They do get into bed with you, and you have a dog now, right? Because I'm hearing like there's a growling, and it didn't sound like a cat's growling. So I think they're trying to convey to me that when your dog is growling in the middle of the night, it's probably because the dog doesn't want the 2 dogs in spirit to join you in the bed.
Yeah, it makes sense because he's been doing that. I've barely been sleeping. And the other night he made like the craziest noise at 3 a.m. and it scared me. Like it woke me, out of a dead sleep. And I was like, I looked up and I'm like, there's nothing there. I was like, shut up, basically. Like, you just woke me up.
It
And
was Maisie and Bella. So
yeah.
don't be concerned. It's just that the dog you have now is kind of possessive, doesn't want to share.
No, he doesn't. And I was going to ask Mari that just to look at him really quick because his personality has changed so much since we got the cats. Like he growls a lot now. He's not like going to harm me or them, but like he growls. He never used to growl. She's read him before, but he's with her in this picture. But I will show you him just quick because I'm kind of worried and I don't really know like
I
what
think
I
he's
should
probably
do.
just annoyed he's got to share his space and his mommy with 3 other
Yeah,
animals.
that's him
Let me
now.
see. Now, right, because I did read him, right?
Yeah, you did.
And what's his name again?
It's Saint, Saint, Saint.
Saint. Okay, okay. Thank you for that.
And he's been
Yeah, it's interesting because I do agree with Winter as well. There's very much like I hear like I'm hearing from him like, don't take over. Like this is my person. This is my area. Like there's a possessiveness, but there's also a little bit of fear because what I'm getting from him is like I don't want to lose this because I know because he was adopted, right? You rescued him or he came from like some other situation that wasn't.
I got
I
him
was
as a puppy. He was a baby when I got him. I went and picked him up from like a breeder. I don't know.
Okay. Because what I'm hearing from him is that when he was in that situation, that like, and again, breeders have all different ways of being that maybe he wasn't paid attention to as much as he really should have, because he definitely has a like getting his back up about things. Like I don't want to lose my mom. So there's the possessiveness, but it's also a fear about not wanting to lose you. So what I would recommend for this situation is really just talk to him and be like, look, Saint, I know this is hard for you. I know you don't like to share. I know that it's difficult when my other fur babies come around, but this is your forever home. I feel like he needs a lot of reassurance. So, and like, I don't again feel like that, he would bite or anything, but it's the possessiveness and the fear. It's the combo because I feel like, okay, I don't know, like, are you gonna like them better? Like, what's gonna happen to me? Am I gonna get pushed to the back again? Because I keep feeling in his past that either he was like the runt of the litter or he was the one that didn't get paid attention to enough. There's some piece about that with him. And he's afraid he doesn't want to go back there. And so that's sort of the fear energy that I'm picking up with him. So as
So
much as you can do to sort of reassure him and let him know this is your forever home. Even if I had 100 animals, not that I'm going to, I'm always going to have time for you. And just really, and if you can sort of carve out some, mommy saint time, even if you can have special time just with him, whether it's outside in the yard or somewhere where he just gets that one-on-one. It's almost like a little kid, like to reassure them, like it's okay, I'm here and everything's going to be okay. He sort of needs that because I'm feeling a little sort of emptiness and a little bit of that anxiety in him, and that's from the fear. Does that make sense?
yeah, thank you guys so much. Thank
Okay.
you.
Oh
Oh,
no,
you're
you
welcome. Thanks for
you
coming
are
in.
totally, yeah, you're totally welcome. And Winter, I was just checking my Facebook before, and there is a Hope Isabella Lankensdorf that was asking for a reading, and I don't know if you had anybody on your end for
No,
a
I'm
reading, and
good. So
I,
let's
I,
look to
I know
hope.
we're late. I know we're late, and I know we want you to pull that card. So I was hoping to sort of squeeze Hope in. Um, so she was asking for a reading on her dog Socrates, which looks like Socrates, but I pronounce it Socrates. I don't know if that's wrong or not, but and I have read this fur baby before, so I can give a little bit of information, and then maybe if you have anything to add, just so you know that Socrates has crossed over many years ago. He's a big, fluffy golden retriever. And he's quite a character. So hope hope you are still listening and watching on Facebook so that you can get this reading or, on the playback after. It's interesting because as I was sort of looking at my Facebook, I kept hearing he's talking to me about running in the sprinklers. There's some piece and they're showing me, I'm very clairvoyant, so I see images. So I see this image of Socrates running in the sprinklers, trying to catch the water, and then also chasing the other animals around. So there's some piece about him being sort of the head honcho in the house, which I think you already know that he's kind of the boss of everything. But there's also a piece about the sprinklers that he keeps bringing up to me as being a really fun memory of something that he used to do when he was on this side. And he's also talking to me about, and I think the reason he's bringing up the sprinklers is there's some piece about whether there's an irrigation issue going on at your house, and I'm talking about outside. Whether there's some piece about that, because I feel like he's bringing up the sprinklers for a reason, not just for the memory, but to say, hey, you might want to check on that piece. This might need a little bit of maintenance, because he's always trying to be a helper from the other side. And again, I have read this animal before, and I do know he's always trying to help and be supportive of his mom. And so I feel like he's coming in to sort of give you that little bit of information to sort of check on your, whether it's a irrigation system, hose, some type of water outside. He wants you to check on that. So I don't know if Winter, you have any thoughts on Socrates, but he is a big furry ball of positive energy.
Actually, yeah, the energy is magnificent. I also, to kind of tie up the show, what I'm getting was that Socrates did have a previous incarnation as a man, a caretaker. So it makes sense that he comes through, to assist with those types of matters now that he's crossed into the spirit realm. And I do feel like he wants to be on top of everything, have his paws in everything. Not only if his human is having a sad night, because I feel like there's certain nights and anniversaries that trigger her, and she might be feeling blue. And then as soon as he feels that he's right there, whether she's aware of it or not in that moment, never doubt that he doesn't pick up in trying to bring you love and cuddles. And I also, the practical matters. I feel like he walks around like a little soldier around the perimeter of the property that she resides at. Definitely a playful, kind of a goofball of a dog when he was here. And although he was very well trained, unlike Sasha, that's my dog, he would, if given the opportunity, sneak a bite of a sandwich that was left on a table too low or something like that. Not all the time, but just once in a while. Unfortunately, with Sasha, I'm keeping the health insurance because this dog eats everything. So, yeah, just delightful. What a delightful dog. And
I know.
yeah, he does have a more of a guide type energy connection to Hope. So I do feel that this was a pre-planned soul contract, and that he's, staying with her for her entire incarnation,
Hmm.
even though he's in spiritual form now. So lovely, and I think they're the best of soul friends.
Yeah, 100%. She just said in I'm just looking at my feed on Facebook, she said, "Yep, he's king of the castle." So he's definitely, even on the other side, I know he's still king of the castle. And she validated the sprinkler issue. She said it's Florida, there are always issues. So
Aw.
thank you for that. So yeah, thank you for the reading on that. And I did notice, I know we're a little over time. There's a couple people in our chat in the Zoom room that we're hoping to get a reading. So I don't know how you are doing on time, Winter.
I'm okay. The rush was
Okay.
before the show. I'm okay now.
Okay,
Um,
sure. So why don't we do a couple more and and we can can you still hear me? I think I might have lost one of my headsets here.
no, you're good.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Um, yeah, so it says iPhone, so I don't know who that is. Would like to get a reading on their dog that passed. So,
So iPhone, you can unmute your microphone and then and let us know your name, so we don't have to call you iPhone.
right.
And also, if you have a photo,
Yeah, the photo just makes it easier, I find.
All right. Can you hear me?
yes, you're good. You're
My
unmuted.
name's Danielle.
Hi,
Sorry.
Danielle.
And that, I don't know if you can see,
Oh, he's
is
gorgeous.
her name was Lakaya.
Lakaya. Oh,
So,
beautiful. Did you have a particular question about Lakaya? Or you just want to, these will obviously be brief just because we're trying to wrap up the show, but was there something particular you wanted to know or
I mean, there's a
just
lot of things I want to know, but I want to see if she has, or you can figure out anything that she has to say.
Yeah, well, it's interesting as you showed me that picture, it's like I was immediately bowled over by this energy. I feel very much like she was your soul dog, that you guys
Oh my
had that
God.
soul, deep soul connection. Like when you saw her, it was like, and it's interesting because they're talking to me about how you weren't supposed to get her initially, that there was like another animal or something that you were looking at or somebody else, and that it was sort of like a switcheroo or something because she was meant to come into your life because you guys have that deep. I feel like you've known each other in previous lives and you have that deep, deep connection. She's talking to me about helping you, like supporting you. I don't know if there was like a surgery or there was some type of injury or something that she supported you through because she's sort of making me aware of like almost being like your nursemaid in some sense and sort of being there taking care of you. Like, do you understand that piece?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
And I know, and it's okay, you don't have to tell us anything about it, but I just see her like, it's because it's weird, they show me these images and I see her with this little nurse hat on, which I'm not saying she wore, but they show me images and I'm like, okay, I feel like you were taking care of her. So she was taking care of you. And she's saying to me that was her greatest pleasure. Like that's part of why she was here. And she's also talking to me about passing too soon, whether there was a piece about that during her crossing that you were like, wait a second, it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Because I feel
Yeah,
like she was sort of going along and then I just feel like a drop off a cliff and you're like, wait, what just happened here? So just know
yeah,
that,
that's
do you understand that?
exactly what happened. And she died way too young.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hearing from her. And so she wants you to know that, first of all, that she is very much with you. She is around you. She's telling me that she's watching everything you do, not like in a weird, creepy way, and she keeps talking to me about ice cream, ice cream. She just showed me like an ice cream cone. Not sure where that registers with everything else, but they
Right?
just dropped that in. But she wants, she was aware, obviously of that crossing. And she's like, Mom, I don't want you to, she said, I don't want you to hold on to any guilt because I'm hearing that you feel like somehow I should have known about this. Somehow I
Yeah.
should have picked up something and I missed something and it's my fault. And she's coming in and saying, I don't want you to hold on to that, that it's really important that you let that go because this was part of her karma, part of your karma, your connected karma. And that's not like a punishment. That's just sort of how things were supposed to be in this lifetime for her. But please know that you two are going to reconnect in the next lifetime. Whatever bodies you happen to be in, your souls will be reunited because you have that super, super strong soul bond. And she's like, and I want you to know that I'm here. She's showing me, it's funny, she's showing me her on the bed and her paws are up like this, almost like she's standing up on the bed with the paws. She's like, Mom, I'm still here. So please know that she's still very much with you. Her energy is like, I see like the two of you like frick and frack almost, like just bound at the hip, so connected. Like I have chills just sort of connecting to that energy. So know that she's still so much with you. She loves you so much and that you guys are going to be connected again. She's like, and Mom, don't hold on to that. You didn't do anything wrong. It was
It's so
just my
hard not
time.
to. I feel like it's my fault that she's.
Of course. Of course, I understand, honey. I mean, it's hard, and because we're human, and we feel like we can fix everything. But it's like it was just, I feel like I don't know, it was like a congenital heart thing. There was something that was going on that nobody knew about, and then boom, it was over. And that's what she's showing me. But she doesn't want you to hold on to that. She's like, that's not why that happened for you to feel bad about it.
Oh
But
my
she
God,
wants you
because
to
that's
know.
what I was worried about. If she had someone I didn't know of.
Yeah, well, I'm feeling it was something that it was almost like a congenital thing that and again, I'm not like a medical intuitive per
I
se,
know, but
but that it was something that it was congenital and that it was just over very quickly, that she got very sick and it was over and it wasn't like anything that you could have done. It wasn't like a preventative care type of thing, because I am
I
also hearing that like, you did take her to the vet and you did sort of everything for her to make sure that she was okay. But this is the
yeah.
kind of thing that nobody really would have caught. So please,
So this
please
would
know
have
that.
happened anyways, you think?
Yes, that's what she is telling me, that this would have happened anyways, and there wasn't anything that you could have done about it. And she doesn't want you to carry that guilt with you. She's like, I don't, and she's also like, I don't want you to remember me that way. I don't want you to remember me as like the sick me, because
You
that's
know,
not.
what's the funniest part is because when we used to have our nighttime routines,
Hmm.
she would always come up the stairs with me, and she always had this thing where she would put her two front paws on the bed, and I would lift her up, and
Yeah.
then we would go to sleep because she
Yeah.
never wanted to jump on the bed by herself.
Yeah, that's what she's showing me. She's showing me the paws and the head. I say, okay, let's go. Time to go.
Oh
So
my
yeah, she's
God.
she's
It's
making me
so,
aware of that. So just know that, through me, she's coming to you and she's so much around you, and like the tail is going. I see the tail like whapping you. It's funny. She's just showing me the tail whipping around. So
I'm so glad you could give me that because I really needed it because I was really struggling.
oh, well, it's my pleasure. That's why we do this. I'm so grateful to be able to be here for you and for everybody, to be able to
Oh,
help in this way, because that's, I feel like part of my mission is to help bring comfort from the other side. So I'm glad that you
eventually, I would
tuned
love to get
on.
a whole personal one-on-one reading eventually with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check, get to my website, and I do have a wait list right now, but feel free to get on my wait list, and I would
Already
be
there.
happy. Okay, awesome. All right. Well, I'm glad you're already there. So
Oh,
hopefully I'll have some openings.
but
So
thank you for clearing it up because I just felt very awful that I thought like it was my fault that she went so early. But
yeah.
knowing that this was probably going to happen anyways, it does help a little bit.
Okay. Well, and she doesn't want you to be in that space of the sadness and the guilt. She doesn't want you to. And she
I
just
know.
showed me a yellow rose, which is my sign for forgiveness. So she wants you to be able to forgive yourself. That's really important, because holding on to that negative energy just is going to make you sick. I can feel that, like it's a lot for you to carry. So
Oh,
as
it's
much as
it's
you can, try to release that.
thank you. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so happy. And thank you for sharing her with us. She's really beautiful, strong, strong energy too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
She
you
just
for
had way more
that.
life. It's not fair.
I know. I know. Believe
All
me, I do.
right.
I get it. So thank you.
I really appreciate that.
Oh, my pleasure.
We have one more. We're going to do a quick one for who's in the Zoom room. Deborah. Hey, beautiful. Can you? Okay, so you're muted. So I just need you to unmute yourself. I go around muting people, but I can't unmute you.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And then focus your phone a little bit better to the
My
you were
oh,
showing the picture of the pup, right?
yeah, can I do this? Oh, there
Yep,
we
I
go.
see him. It's like a little guy.
Little mixed terrier.
Terrier, yeah, a little
Yeah.
one.
Oh, there. Why
I
is it
always
so
have
okay?
100-pound plus dogs. So my daughter has a Pomeranian, though.
She's only 10 pounds.
Yeah, my daughter's dog is a little one. That's why I made the remark about not wanting the eagles in my backyard because
Yes. I don't want eagles. Uh,
yeah, you're with me.
we rescued her about 6 months ago, and she's such a pleasure. And I've also
Hmm.
been working. I met you. I don't know if you remember me, Winter, but
You
I was
look
at
very
your house in
familiar.
Lilydale. We were up.
Okay.
But anyway, I rescued her right after I started to my psychic journey. I'm on a
Awesome.
psychic journey, right? And I believe that Willow is psychic
Yep.
because she looks around my house and she sees things, and I'm trying to take her clues.
So, would you understand a father in spirit?
My father?
Yeah.
Uh, I wouldn't know. You think she's my father?
I see a gentleman who comes into your house and bends over and pets the dog from spirit. So, and
Yeah.
I'm feeling like a father. It could be a grandfather, but I think it's your dad. So,
Well, my
is your
dad has
dad?
been gone for many years, and I've
Yeah.
never heard from him. I heard from,
Well,
yeah. So maybe that's
he
how he's coming to me, right?
he's coming in and he's particularly fond of her and she likes him.
Mhm.
Now, don't forget, we cross over, our hard edges get smoothed out a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so I concur that with your belief that she's seeing clairvoyantly. And I also feel that there's a female that comes over. I don't know if it's your mom, but I think it's your grandmother.
Really?
That's who I'm seeing coming in and who is fond of smaller animals. So I do see the spirits coming in and interacting with this dog. I also feel like this dog is over the moon happy with its new living situation. You spoil this dog. I mean, it's getting so many treats, it's getting so much love and affection. This is your baby.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And this dog didn't experience that previously. I think there might have been a little bit in the beginning of wherever it landed, but then it got kind of maybe life with its family got busy and they ignored
She
it.
was in a hoarding situation.
Hoarding. Okay.
And she
So
got rescued from there. And
she
then she
wasn't
got
getting the
switched
one-on-one
around.
attention. And now she feels like she's over the moon.
She is the star of the house.
Yeah, and she's so happy. She's like, she hit the lotto. She loves all the treats because you give her too many, but you're gonna have to, make sure she doesn't get fat. Keep the exercise going. She loves to play. She likes the interaction. She doesn't know how to play. So you have to actually teach her how to play. Did you ever
Okay.
try some cat toys?
Oh, really?
Even though she's a dog, I feel like if you got one of those little, the wands with a little stuffed animal
Yeah.
versus throwing a ball for her, I don't think she gets it. But if you drag the little toy, a little stuffed animal, um, she would engage.
Oh, okay.
Play.
That's good to know.
Because
Thank
I
you.
just feel like she wasn't taught how to play.
Yeah, no, yeah, I could see that because we try, and all she wants to do is kiss us. Like she doesn't, she really,
Right. So I think try like you go Five Below. They're like, $3, a little stick with get one with a stuffed animal versus a feather.
Oh, okay.
All right. And you can just kind of pull it and she can try to follow it.
That's good to know. But going back to the spirit, when we in this house we live in, it's an old house, and I know that there are spirits in my house because I've actually had psychics in my house, and they said they're good spirits. They're not mean. And I know this one woman that was in the house her whole life. Her name was Evelyn, and I talk to her all the time because I don't want to upset her. Like if I, change things in the house, whatever, I ask her first. But anyway, uh, I'm wondering, could that be Evelyn you're seeing? Or does it have to be one of my spirits?
No, it could I know the father was the father, but I
Wow.
wasn't sure about the relation of the woman because remember I said I don't think it's mom, it could be a grandmother, but she may feel maternal towards you, this Evelyn. She might look upon you like a daughter because she's in spirit and you're in house. So that might have been the energy I was picking up, the emotional connection to
Okay.
you.
Okay,
So it could be this Evelyn,
I
but she
see.
just felt like, because I couldn't pinpoint it, but
Okay.
I just felt like she had liked animals and she
Oh,
was enjoying connecting with your dog.
yes, and she did. Well, from what I know, people that knew her, the people on the block have lived here forever, and I heard a lot of stories about her.
Well, she's probably thrilled that you're in the home and you're bringing in, fur babies, because like Mari pointed out, their energy is just higher and delightful. They bring a warmth to a home if you're blessed enough to have pets.
I see.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so they're yeah, you have nice spirits in your house. You're welcoming and you're inviting. So they're, and if you ever want them to leave, they'll do that too, but they like being around your energy.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want me to pull the card?
Yes, absolutely. I was just putting info in the chat. People were asking, if this video is available for later. Yes, it will be. It will be available on my YouTube, which is Medium Mari on YouTube. And Winter, what is your YouTube? Is it your name as well?
Winterbrook Ryan. It's my full name. Or try
Okay.
Winterbrook Psychic Medium. I am not as savvy as you with the technology. That's why I have a 23-year-old that helps me. So
I
today's
understand.
deck, since in honor of this being a show dedicated for our pets, is the Wise Dog Tarot. We're big dog lovers in Northport, so I bought this deck.
I
And
love it.
I'm just going to pick one card. I'm going to pick, nope, this card. Oh, Spirit. It made me pick two. So I got the Emperor, which is a Doberman, and it's the fourth card, and the Queen of Wands, which it looks like a larger version of your dog does, Deborah, the markings. So let me just read the message. The Emperor. The emperor is the father, the benevolent ruler who seeks justice and a fair ruling for all. The emperor will hold you to your word, which everybody knows we're in Mercury retrograde at the moment. So make sure you double check, triple check, and bite your tongue before you spew out something that might upset someone, because it just might be the Mercury retrograde energies. He will hold your actions to the light and ask that you stand before him accountable. His word is one of authority, of clear thinking and balance. When you step into his presence, be sure to be yourself and honest, as he has much to offer those who show him respect. And then the Queen of Wands. Wands is the fiery feminine nature of the queen is warm and inviting. And because of this, she quickly attracts others to her side. Let your heart burn bright and express your passion. When you tap into the energy of the queen, you will feel a surge of creativity and purpose. So joining these two together, the emperor is going to enhance your energy and hold you to be genuine, which you want to be, whether it's in your word, your art, or your deed. So good cards. for the month. And thank you, everybody.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
very, very cool. I love that deck, Winter. And I also wanted to add, just as you were reading it, Hope posted about Socrate. She said, "Thank you both so very much. You made my month. We are bound together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy Thanksgiving." So I just wanted to give you a little feedback that she loved the reading. So we love to get feedback. If anybody wants to reach out to either of us on our websites or any socials, we love to get feedback from the events and the shows that we do. And just a little tidbit, and I know we're getting super late here. This show is going to be featured in Podcast Stars magazine as one of the top up and coming shows on the podcast network. So that should be coming out in December, and we'll definitely post that on all of our socials. But I'm very excited that we're going to be featured. So tell your friends, tell everybody to subscribe to the YouTubes and the Facebooks and all of the socials for both of us. And our next show will be December 1st, and that will be our last show of the year. And we will be having Angel Eyes Dawn Marie, who is like an angel oracle for the holidays and the end of the year stuff. So we're very excited to welcome her to Spirit Chat. And thank you so much for everybody for coming and for staying on. I know we're a little late.
So yes, thank you, everyone. We hope to see you December 1st, but as always, if you're unable to catch the show live, remember you can always catch it on our Facebook pages, YouTube, or Mari uploads it to Spotify,
iHeart and Apple
iHeart.
Podcasts. Within like a week or so, I get it all uploaded, so you'll have, the audio. So if you want to listen to it on the go or pass it on to your friends, it will be available, for eternity on those streaming networks.
And I hope to see some of you in my January classes. If you have any questions on those, feel free to email me, during the next month or so. All right. Take care. God bless.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming. See you in a couple weeks.